Hello everyone. In this video we will continue from the previous one where we had a sample size of 15 pieces of data which involved samples from a manufacturer who makes 2-liter jars of pasta sauce. We calculated the sample mean and we calculated the standard deviation. Next we're going to talk about relative frequency. So we're going to take that standard deviation and the mean, and we're going to add the standard deviation to the mean, and we're going to subtract the standard deviation from the mean. So in the first column, we're going to take the mean of 2.01467, and we're going to subtract the standard deviation of 0.0716, and that'll equal a lower limit of 1.94307. And for the upper limit, we're going to add to the mean and that will equal 2.08627, which we then go look at the data set and count the number of data that's in this interval. So 2 is in the interval, 2.0, 1.96, 198, 202, 1.9, 192 is lower than the limit, so it's not included. 208's included, 201's included, 2.15 is larger, 189 is smaller, 202.03 is included, and 1.96 is included. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of data. That's a frequency of 10 in this interval. And we're going to wait for the relative frequency. Actually, we could calculate that now. We know that the sample size is 15 from the previous question, from the previous video, and from counting the data set. There's a sample size of 15. So the relative frequency for this first interval, which is 1 standard deviation above and 1 standard deviation below the mean, is a relative frequency of 10 out of 15, which is approximately 67% of the data set, approximately. Okay, now let's do the second interval. We're going to take the mean and we're going to add and subtract 2 standard deviations, and we take that 1.94307, subtract another standard deviation, and that will equal 1.87147. And we take the upper limit for the first interval of 2.08627, we add another standard deviation to that, and that will equal 2.15, so 2.15787. And the 211 is now included, the 210 is now included, the 192 is now included, the 215 is now included, the 189 is now included. So we have a frequency of 15, and as a relative frequency, we now have accounted for 100% of the data set. So as you can see, adding and subtracting the standard deviation to the central tendency value of the mean creates a window of a measure of spread. So in this data set, 1 standard deviation above and below the mean gives us a lower limit and an upper limit, which is a window to the data set, which accounts for 10 pieces of data, which as a relative frequency, we take this frequency of 10 and we put it over the total frequency of 15, and it gives us a relative frequency of 67%. So in other words, the relative frequency is a percentage. It's a percentage of the sample space. And when we open up to 2 standard deviation intervals, 2 standard deviations below the mean, 2 standard deviations above the mean, we have accounted for all 15 pieces of data, and as a relative frequency, that is 100%. So that concludes the topic of relative frequency in reference to this data set. It took 2 standard deviation intervals to reach 100% of the data set. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please leave your comments below. And if you like this video and you want to see more of these videos and you want to be alerted to when these videos are created and posted, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Have a great day. You guys are awesome.